the last question, what do we do in default? What is the rule? Sell must give notice to debtor in all situations to give debtor right to redeem. Interested parties in non-consumer goods. Who would those other interested parties be if we're talking about non-consumer goods? What is the only way somebody can have an interest in a secure transaction? They're secured, right? So all the other secured creditors in that particular asset. So what does the rule say? Right? Seizing creditor selling expenses get paid, the seizing creditor gets paid. If there's any money left over at this point, we start with the junior secured creditors. They get paid in their order of priority. Each one must get paid in full before we can move to the next one. If there's any money left over, the debtor gets it. Right? Seizing creditor or any junior creditor, senior creditor, secured creditor are not paid in full, they may seek a deficiency judgment, right? Or whatever's left owed to them. What's the last little blurb? The generic blurb. Right? Any interests of any senior secured creditors are sold with the asset. Because remember what the general rule is. Seizing creditor gets paid, selling expenses get paid first, they get paid, junior creditors get paid in their order of priority, anything left goes to the debtor. Right? Since I am their senior creditor, I can force them to give up their security interest. I cannot force someone who's above me to give up their security interest. Why can't I? Because they're a senior creditor. I have no power over them. And like what I said, I can bully the people underneath me. I can't bully the guy who's above me because he's bigger than me. I can bully the ones underneath me because I'm bigger than them. But if that senior creditor is bigger than me, I can't bully him. And again, the only way I can say this is if that does not make any sense to you, I'm sorry, just do what the rule says and don't try to make sense of it. Because what does the rule say? My selling expenses get paid, I get paid, junior creditors get paid, anything left goes to the debtor. If any of us are owed any money, we can seek a deficiency judgment. Any interest of the senior creditor is sold with the asset. That's it. If you don't understand it, it's fine. Just do what that says and move on. Because as long as you do this, you'll get the right answer. Now, it would be helpful if you actually, this is not, this can get confusing, so I understand that. But, if it is that confusing, just, do what it says, and you'll be fine. Well, hey, we've seen this one before. In which type of collateral is the security interest protected exclusively by control? Investment property, commercial tort claims, home office equipment, or bank deposit accounts? There's that. Statement is, as to the inventory purchased from Excel, Excel has priority because it had a PIMS in inventory.
Is it false? It was on
I don't.
15, whereas the other one was.
Well,
on-
what would be the only way that's a true statement?
They gave us all the senior security papers.
Is it?
Who are the other interested parties? Is it a lien creditor or a secured creditor? Security, oh god, I actually don't like this that way. Secured creditor, what must I do? I have to tell them and file the financing statement before the debtor gets possession. It doesn't say that here, right? Again, I really hope I have this. Right answer. Is it just me or is true bigger than false? I really hope that's my answer. Oh god, this one's good. Some of these should look very familiar to you. Fundamentally, how do I have a PIMSI? What is a PIMSI? It doesn't matter if it's in consumer good, equipment, or inventory. How do I have a PIMSI? It's a purchase money security interest. So what are we looking for? Obviously, the debtor has to buy something, and the creditor is going to extend credit for something, right? It's a security interest, so there's got to be attachment at some point. So what is a purchase money security interest? The creditor lends the debtor the money to buy the good itself. What does the creditor do? Well, they get a security interest in it, right? Again, they lent me the money to buy the good itself, they retain a security interest in it. Purchase money security interest. So number one, what happens? The parents lent her the money to buy the good itself, right? The parents retain a security interest in it. No, not only that, it does say she borrows money from the bank to repay the unsecured loan from her parents. So the parents don't have a PIMSI. The small bank have a PIMSI. Did small bank lend her the money to buy the good itself and they retained a security interest in it? No, they lent her money, she gave them a security interest in something that she already owns, right? That's not a PIMSI. Baxter buys 100 shares of capital stock at PegCorp on credit, blah, 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 under the agreement. The 100 shares don't secure repayment of the loan. Well, if it's not secured, it's unsecured. That is not a PIMSI. Johnson buys a new Jag from Hollywood Motors for personal use, which retains an enforceable security interest in the vehicle to secure its unpaid purchase price. No title issues exist. Through a paperwork mix-up, however, Hollywood Motors never filed a financing statement. Again, did Hollywood Motors lend Johnson the money to buy the good itself? They retain a security interest in it. The answer is yes. Not only that, is it relevant that they didn't file a financing statement? Why? One, well, I'm asking if they have a PIMSI or not. But two, it's a consumer good and we don't have to file one, right? And D, Warden borrows $35,000 from the bank, secure repayment of the loan, they grants the bank the security interest in it. The problem is, the money goes into his bank account, but then money comes out of the bank account. The money that comes out must be the exact money that went in. We don't know that. Without knowing that, we cannot prove that they lent the money to buy the good itself and they retain the security interest in it. Now, if it said something like, you opened up a specific account just for this money, and then that same money came out, that would be different, right? Because we could trace it that way. But again, even if there's a penny in that bank account, we don't know if that penny is included in that $35,000 when it comes out, right? We don't know. Therefore, you can't have a PIMSI. Again, we see the phrase after acquired property clause, which means we're going to have a priority dispute between two creditors. The only way the second creditor will have priority as to their security interest would be what? They would have to have a PIMSI, right? Again, this is the only time a PIMSI is an issue. So, did the dealer have a properly perfected PIMSI? That's equipment to perfect automatically on attachment. When must we file the financing statement? Within 20 days. After that, it will still be perfected, but it will just be as of the date of filing, which then drops back to first in time, first in right. Whoever filed first wins. So July 1st, we borrowed from dealer. They filed the financing statement on the 25th. That's after 20 days. Therefore, they perfected on July 25th. When did bank perfect? February 4th. Bank perfected first. Therefore, which of those answers that most accurate? It would appear, possibly that one. Let's see if I did. Oh, yeah, also pay attention, because this will happen too. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone will get, let's say it's $20,000 grand piano. I may tell you it's something other than 20,000 that they borrowed, like it does here. Just pay attention to that too, right? Because you can always put cash down. I couldn't get that one, sorry. So as of January 5th, Big Bank held an enforceable security interest in the current and after acquired equipment of Small Town College for a loan balance of $20,000. So that's sentence one. What is one of the operative phrases that we see in that sentence? After acquired property clause, right? So just, that means any other equipment that comes along is going to get sucked into their security interest, which would give them priority unless that subsequent creditor has a PIMSI, right? So again, as of January 5th, Big Bank held an enforceable security interest in the current after acquired equipment of Small Town College for a loan balance of $20,000. Big Bank filed the Big Bank filed the financing statement on January 10th. So as of January 10th, Big Bank is perfected, right? On March 1st, Small Town College bought a grand piano from dealer for $20,000. Is that grand piano equipment for the college? Yes, it's not inventory, right? They're not going to sell it, they're going to use it. It's equipment. Dealer financed 20% of $4,000 and retained an enforceable security interest in the piano to secure repayment of the $4,000. Dealer filed the proper financing statement with the appropriate official on March 24th. Small Town later obtained an unsecured loan from Small Bank for $5,000. On May 1st, Small Town defaulted on all its loans. Big Bank properly seized the piano and held a legal auction. All requirements for the auction were met. The piano fetched $15,000 at present. Small Town owes Big Bank 20, dealer 4, and Small Bank 5. The priority of the creditors and the amount they received are as follows. Okay. First question, is any one of those creditors unsecured? Small Bank, we do not care about Small Bank, right? So Small Bank is irrelevant. So now we only care about Big Bank and dealer, right? Well, Big Bank filed the financing statement first, but we're talking about the piano, which is covered by Big Bank's after acquired property clause. The only way dealer will have priority would be what? If it has a properly perfected PIMSI in the piano. This is equipment, right? How long do we have to file a financing statement? 20 days. When did they file the financing statement? March 24th, right? When did they attach? March 1st, right? Is that more than 20 days after March 1st?
Yes.
So they're perfected, but they're perfected as of March 24th. First in time, first in right. Who filed first? Big bank. Big bank has priority. Just so happens which bank seized it? Big bank. Are there any senior creditors to big bank? No. So now we're quick down and dirty. The piano fetched 15,000. I owe 24,000 total, right? Then we ignore small bank. We are undersecured, right? Now, had dealer seized first, they probably would have been paid in full, right? Because they were owing less than what the assets were, but that's not what happened. Big bank seized it. There are no selling expenses, right?
Nope.
That we can see, okay. So, my selling expenses get paid, which is 0, which leaves how much? 15,000. What's big bank owed?
20.
How much do they get?
15.
Are they still owed money?
Yes.
Is there any money for dealer?
No.
Okay.
They both-
So it looks like at least it's either A or B, right? Because we said big bank gets the 15,000.
Yeah.
Big bank and dealer, but not small bank,
Is it A because we ignore the small bank?
Right, because they can't, right? They're irrelevant. I really hope I have that. They're not answering. Ah. I hope that one I have. I got 10 minutes. I can stay later too. You guys are free to go. Unless you guys have any questions. Again, 6:30 is the test. I'll be in the office around 3.
I'm going to leave, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, that's what I'm.
Stupid